reservoir like Ferdinand. I think he can go 1.5 miles. His only difficulty is perhaps the mud. Not so much the footing. The footing is firm. But that dirt hitting a horse in the face, a young horse that's not used to it, could create a vision problem. You know, they don't wear goggles like jockeys do. They do pick up weight coming from behind, so that could be a factor against him. Rampage, again, is another horse that I think loves the distance of ground, likes the mud, has run well in the mud, but 5-week layup, it'd be a great, tremendous training job if he wins, and he has a chance. To me, a long shot in the race that could show up really nice, Parade Marshal. I like the way he looked in a paddock. He's been primed for this race. I look for a surprising performance out of him.
And of course, we don't know that Ferdinand can't run in the mud. He's never run in it.
That's true, but the factor that Bill Shoemaker came up, that dirt in the face, a horse will tend not to extend himself if he's blinded, if he's not used to it. And a young horse is like this, it could affect him.
Or it could affect any of the others, of course. Okay, now the favorite in the betting, remember, and something of a surprise, is Rampage, the winner of the Arkansas Derby. That's his jockey, of course, Pat Day, who both of them come out of the Southwest. We talked to Pat Day a little bit earlier and talked to him about his chances in this kind of going.
Well, it certainly won't hurt him, whereas it might hurt some of the others. He won the Arkansas Derby on a very, very sloppy racetrack. I mean, it come a downpour that afternoon at Oaklawn, and he handled the footing very good. The slop coming back in his face, I was a little concerned about that. You know, a lot of times a horse, the first time they run into it, don't really like it, and consequently they don't run well. But he done everything right that afternoon, handled the racetrack well, and so I don't think that if it rains that the slop, the bad racetrack, would affect him any.
Back on horseback again is Charlie Canny. Charlie, what is the scene out there now?
The horses are approaching the starting gate. It is still very sloppy, and in only a few moments we'll find out whether Ferdinand likes the mud or not. There's an old adage on the racetrack: if a horse likes the mud, he needs no help. If he doesn't like the mud, there's no help for him. We'll know in about 2.5 minutes. Jim?
Well, again, we have 3 horses in here trained by men in their 70s. If only Henry Clark were up for Maryland with a horse in the race at age 80, we'd have a real meeting of Horse Trainers Hall of Fame at the summit. But now they're moving into the starting gate. You saw number 1, Bobby Forbes, going in. We have a microphone, by the way, on starter Frank Calvarich. You'll be hearing him as they go into the starting gate. 10 horses. Nobody was scratched, remember. Number 5 there is Personal Flag, owned by Ogden Phipps. Let's go up now to Marshall Cassidy. Marshall?
Okay, Jim. We have a few horses still to go into the gate. See behind the gate now, Ferdinand, winner of the Kentucky Derby, as John's Treasure is being loaded. Here's some of the action as they load this horse into the gate. It takes several assistant starters to do that, but it is successful. Ferdinand now goes in. There's Woody's horse. Danzig Connection. Spirit. Winner of the Arkansas Derby in the slot. Rampage about to go in. Okay. They're all in line. It is now post time. They're all in line. And they're off. Mogambo is going for the lead. Surprisingly, on the outside, there goes a speed horse also. Danzig Connection has moved into second. Then it's Imperial Spirit, John's Treasure on the inside, then Ferdinand between horses. Again on the inside, Bobby Forbes. On the outside is Rampage, then Parade Marshal, Personal Flag, and Bordeaux Bob on the rail is in 10th. They enter the clubhouse turn. We'll soon see the quarter time for this race. 23-1. It is a fast pace. Mogambo has the lead by a bit more than a length, and it's Danzig Connection second by about 4. Then John's Treasure is third on the rail. On the outside, Imperial Spirit is fourth, gaining a bit. About a length to Ferdinand, with Shoemaker on the rail, moving up also. The outside is Parade Marshal, about 3 to Bobby Forbes. Then Rampage, Bordeaux Bob, and a Personal Flag is now 10th. They're on to the backstretch, the half in 47-4. The pace has eased a bit. But Mogambo continues to lead by a bit more than a length. Danzig Connection on the outside is second by a length. Ferdinand on the rail is in third. Danzig Connection is gaining ground on the outside, only a half off of Mogambo. Also right there is John's Treasure alongside Ferdinand. On the outside again is Parade Marshal in 5th. Then Imperious Spirit, Bobby Forbes, Bordeaux Bob, Rampage, and Personal Flag. 3/4, 12 and 4. The pace is still slowing as Danzig Connection gains on the outside of Mogambo. They are now heads apart. Right behind them on the rail is Ferdinand with Shoemaker. Danzig Connection on the outside. Mogambo on the rail. Now it's Danzig Connection taking the lead. Mogambo is second by a half. Now Ferdinand has moved to the outside. Ferdinand is now taking second. Gaining ground. Farther out, John's Treasure. They round the far turn. The mile 38 and 1. Danzig Connection, Ferdinand, John's Treasure vying for the lead. Mogambo is back into 4th as they approach the top of the stretch. Danzig Connection has a neck in front. On the outside, Ferdinand and John's Treasure, they enter the stretch. Danzig Connection still leads narrowly. Ferdinand on the outside, challenging that lead. Farther out is John's Treasure. On the rail is Personal Flag moving into 4th as Danzig Connection now draws clear. This is going to be the 5th Belmont for Woody Stevens. John's Treasure on the outside of Ferdinand. Danzig Connection has the lead. It is Danzig Connection winning by a length and a half. Congratulations, Woody Stevens. Then a photo for place and show between John's Treasure and Ferdinand. Personal Flag was 4th in the 8th race, the Belmont Stakes here in New York. The time on the board, 2 minutes, 29 and 4/5 seconds. Back to you, Jim McKinnon.
Unbelievable. That's the only word for it. Woody Stevens has won his 5th Belmont Stakes in a row at age 72. That's Kwiatkowski, Henrik Kwiatkowski, the owner, hugging Woody. It's something that has never happened in the history of the American turf, really. The man started this streak at age 68 at a time when he was talking about retiring. Now, my goodness, he may go on forever. 5 Belmonts in a row. For a trainer to even have 5 horses run in 5 Belmonts in a row would be an achievement. To win 5 in a row, well, you've seen it happen. The rider, Chris McCarron, and that is the first Triple Crown victory in the illustrious career of Chris McCarron, who came out of Massachusetts, started his career in Maryland, and is one of the top riders in California now. Danzig Connection, the son of the remarkable young sire Danzig. The time, 2:29 and 4/5, is way off the world record and stakes record of 2:24. Let's go to Charlesie Canty now. Charlesie.
In the excitement over Woody's 6th Belmont, let's not lose sight of the fact that this is Chris McCarron's first classic win and a remarkable riding career. Congratulations, Chris.
Thank you, Charlesie. Boy, that was exciting.
I'll bet. The speed in the mud was true today, yes?
Oh, absolutely. It's been true the last couple days. So Woody just said, get him running, leave him there, see if anybody is desperate to make the lead. If they are, just lay second or third. And I had a lot of horse under me the whole way. I never had to ask him to run till past the 8th pole. When I did, he accelerated very well.
Congratulations, Chris. Exciting ride. Back to you, Jim.
Okay, congratulations to Woody and to Kwiatkowski and to Chris McCarron and, of course, to Danzig Connection. Bill, let's take a look at the stretch run now. It was a real horse race coming into the stretch.
Yes, it sure was. Shoemaker had Ferdinand in a very good position, up a little bit closer than usual, and really didn't have any excuse turning for home. The horse ran a good race, but was beaten. Of course, Danzig's Connection, I don't know, that magic of Woody Stevens, I didn't honestly think Danzig's Connection was as good as the other horses he's run here, but the rider had him in a good spot, and as Chris said, I had plenty of horse, and he ran well through the stretch. He was a well-deserved victory.
So often, of course, the winner of the Belmont will be a fresh horse, won't he? One that hasn't been through that long, grueling Triple Crown series.
Well, they're starting to make a believer out of me.
And there he was, taking the lead with authority at this point, and watch John's Treasure, the horse of 79-year-old Walt Kelly on the outside, number 6, coming up on Ferdinand. Number 5, Personal Flag, in 4th place there.
Well, Personal Flag got a lucky break. He got through on the rail. They say the rail's deep. But, of course, that's a good performance for him to finish 4th. John's Treasure made his move the same time that Shoemaker did on Ferdinand. They both ran together, and, of course, John's Treasure out-knotted him for 2nd.
And, by the way, the horse who won is trained by the 72-year-old, the 2nd-place horse by the 79-year-old, and the 3rd-place horse by the 73-year-old. The springtime of the senior citizen continues. We'll be back.